welcome back to my channel. So, elephant in the room, I'm back. I took a little bit of a break. Honestly, I took a longer break than I was expecting to take or even wanting to take. There were just a lot of really fun and exciting changes in my life and a lot of other commitments that I needed to get to. So I took a break, but I'm back and I'm honestly really excited to be back. I wanted to say, first of all, before we get started, thank you so much for all of the messages and the comments and the emails and the DMs, everything. You guys have been so sweet and reaching out or sending me really lovely stories about sharing your feelings and how you've enjoyed the videos and asking where I've been. So they meant a lot. I might have not been able to get back to every single one of you, but it was really kind and I was really touched. So I'm happy to be back, like I say. I'm starting with dipping my toes back in the fragrance world, but honestly, whilst on break, I was still adding to my collection and growing my collection, probably not to the degree of when I was filming regularly, but there are a lot of things that in the fragrance and beauty and that kind of world that I could share with you, and I'm excited to share with you. So near the end of the video, we can talk more about getting your ideas and just finding out more about what I'm interested in making and what you guys obviously are interested in seeing from me. Also, and I don't know how much this will play into the content, but maybe around the kind of scents that I'd want to purchase for this thing, but other exciting news, I got engaged whilst on break, so there's been a lot of different life changes and exciting things going on around that. So I have already, I think, narrowed down kind of the style or type of fragrances I want for the events surrounding that, but I'd love to kind of do maybe a mini series on that as well and kind of get your ideas. But without any further ado, we're going to get into it. As you can see from the title, it's not just that I'm back, but we have a little bit of a fragrance haul. And while it's not a blind buy first impressions, they were blind buys. I just could not wait to get my nose on them yesterday. So today we are going to actually get to kind of a second impressions, and I can give a little bit more insight into what they smell like for me and their lasting power and just my first time wearing them, because I wore all three yesterday and I was so excited when they came in the mail. So without any further ado, let's get started on the scents. So these scents are the new spring-summer launch from Sol de Janeiro. They're the perfume mists, and if you know me, you will know that I'm not a perfume mist splash kind of gal. I like beast mode fragrances. I like fragrances that last a long time. I like higher quality fragrances usually, and this is just not typically my thing. And I really don't own body splashes at all, other than from Sol de Janeiro or ones I don't wear at all, and they're from God knows when. These are the only body splashes that have really wowed me, and I keep up with their launches as much as I can, and I've been burned before. So this time when they came around, I ordered them online ASAP, because usually I like to buy in store, but there are some that I've missed out on throughout the years and they haunt me. I feel like they would have been my favorite. People, I don't know if it's just because I missed out on them that I feel this way, but when I hear like or read reviews of them, it's like always the one people's favorites. So I was not playing around this time around, and this is my favorite season, like late spring, early summer. I just love the weather and the flowers, and everything around this time of year is so wonderful. So I'm hoping I was hoping that these kind of matched that vibe. So I have all three, and they have the notes on the back. So we will start with this one, Summer Amor, and in the back it says it has energetic notes of orange flower, creamy almond, and sun-kissed woods. So this one, I will refresh my memory on them. Right. This one, I think, and it was the first one I tried when I got it, is very reminiscent of OG Sol de Janeiro fragrances. especially the original itself, I feel like it's the safest and the most gourmand of the three, because for me, Sol de Janeiro does what it does really, really well is making body splashes that aren't just typical fruity, fleeting type things. Like their original was so gourmand and so sweet and so decadent, which body splashes or body mists usually are not, and they're not meant to be. But this one has a really, really nice almond note that I feel isn't too green and it's not too floral. It's like it's sort of like sweet condensed almond milk, if that makes sense. It's really, really creamy and really dense smelling, which I just adore. I feel like because of that, it's probably, and I will go back and obviously at the end rate them and put them in order like I always do, but it's also like the least unique of the three in terms of this range, just because for a while there near the beginning, especially with the first 4 or 5 perfume mists that Sol de Janeiro came out with, they kind of leaned pretty heavy on the gourmand, nutty, uber sweet side. So that is what I'll say about that one. It's the least unique in terms of the range, but in terms of perfume mists all around, usually they're a lot more like fruity and fleeting, and this at least is really creamy and milky and super sweet in like a gourmand way. And I'm not even like a huge gourmand person. I think even people who were very gourmand can agree that the last several years have been really densely gourmand. Densely gourmand in like every category and every brand. And I think we could do a little break from just having gourmand scents as releases. That being said, this is a really nice one, and I feel like, in my opinion also, it's the least spring summer. It can easily be one that you wear into the colder months because it is the woodiest, the creamiest, and the strongest of the three by a long shot. So that is Summer Amor. Okay, moving on to the second, which is either Carioca Crush or Carioca Crush. And this one had crisp pear, pink violet, and white cedarwood. I remember this one. This, as soon as I smelled it, and I will do so now as well, as soon as I smelled it, I was like, oh, I have this fragrance immediately already in my collection. And it is, and I'm forgetting the name. See, I'm out of practice. I'm forgetting the name, but it's an Ariana Grande fragrance. God is a Woman. It's God is a Woman, which I'm actually a really big fan of Ariana Grande fragrances for the most part. I think for a celebrity fragrance range, other than her first couple ones that had the pom-poms, which were just generic like they always are, she takes more adventurous risks within the fragrance community of celebrity fragrances, I would say. And this smelled pretty identical in its opening to that fragrance because of that crisp, not fully candied, but kind of watery pear note is very, very similar. And it's only after a couple minutes, I would say 5 to 10, where it starts to smell different and varied from that scent. I know one of the things that people really hate about God is a Woman by Ariana Grande is its lasting power, and I can agree. Honestly, I have it by my bedside, and it's one that I wear to bed a lot because it smells nice for about 15 minutes, and that's pretty much as long as I can smell it on me. You cannot overspray it, and then I fall asleep. So it's not one I wear out by any means. But I will say this lasts longer while it is a perfume mist than that one. So if you're into that sort of scent and you still don't want something that's beast mode, but want it to at least last a considerably longer time than 15 minutes, I would go with this one. Once it starts changing, which it's on its way, it has a much more kind of like sweet floral woodsiness that comes in and isn't so heavily just like crisp, watery pear. I feel like with God is a Woman, it kind of stays in that purple, lavendery, crisp pear world and doesn't change much and doesn't really have the time to change much because it floats away, at least on my skin, within about 15 minutes. This one actually has time to kind of get into heart and base notes and becomes it's kind of like a nondescript floral and really like sweet soft woods, which makes sense because there's pink violet and white cedarwood. I feel like it's not violet in any powdery way or a candied way or even like an irisy way. It's just like a soft, nondescript floral. And I wouldn't really necessarily think violet because that's my favorite note of all time. Again, if you remember, if you're coming back, a loyal viewer, thank you. You will know. And I can definitely pick up some woods. Again, not very woody. It's a perfume mist. It's slightly woody, but in a really like sweet, soft way. So it's nice. It immediately reminded me of that fragrance by Ariana Grande. So I feel like I will kind of probably use them interchangeably, but maybe lean more towards this one. If I had to choose in store, I would purchase this one over the Ariana Grande one, just so you can get a little bit more lasting power and a little bit more of an interesting base and heart note coming in. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have Bejos or Bejos de Sol. And this one has notes of peach skin, coconut milk, and frangipani petals. This one I thought would be my favorite just based on the notes. I love peach. That is my favorite fruity scent, I would say. I love frangipani and white florals, beachy florals, and I love coconut or lactonic, any sort of lactonic note. And it is my favorite. I feel like it's hard to say even just in a second impressions because the other two have such a more distinctive lasting power than this one. It's unfortunate, but I feel like this one is the least strong, the least likely to project, the most skin scent-esque. I don't think it's a skin scent by any means, and of course you can overspray and spray your hair and your clothes the way you would with a perfume mist, and I intend to, but when I spray just like one or two on my skin and make it more of like an equal comparison, this is the one that is showing up as the least strong. That being said, I really, really enjoy this one. I wouldn't say it's peachy though. For me, this is like a really soft white floral, nothing super heavy, nothing super beachy actually. Just like a soft white floral mixed with coconut milk. And I just love that. To me, that screams summer. It screams beachy without being sunscreen-like. It screams pool day without being too aquatic. And I wouldn't actually mind if it was more sunscreen-like, but I feel like for a lot of people that is a off-putting scent, and it's a scent that they don't, even if they like the smell of sunscreen, you don't want it in a fragrance perhaps. I personally disagree. I love it. I love a scent like old school copper tone scents. Make me so happy. But if you didn't want that, this kind of has like a coconut milk soft white floral that is a lot more approachable. The only thing that kind of stands out to me is when, even right now, when I've sprayed them equally as strong in and around my arms, it is very clearly the least strong, and very obviously, even though I sprayed it third and most recently, the first one that's going to fade off my skin. So if that really matters to you, it's important to consider. But honestly, with perfume mists, like, you're not going for an eau de parfum or an elixir or anything. So that doesn't really become a deal breaker for me personally with these scents because I'm not expecting them to last hours and hours anyways. All right, as always, we will now put them in order. I've been sitting here actually trying to decide, and it is a really good position to be in, which is not always the case, what I would put first, second, and third. In this case, honestly, all three come very, very close for me. At the very least, they're a like, if not a love, and so I will put them in order, and there are some slight preferences, but I feel like all in all, you cannot go wrong. If you just want to get one and not get the whole range, you can't go wrong. So in a very slight preference, I would put in number 1, Bejos de Sol. Even though it's got the worst lasting power of the three, I'm just a huge coconut fan, and this is while none of them are unique or revolutionary scents, the most unique of the three for my collection. It's the one I'm most likely to probably reach for because of that, and I just feel like the fruit mixed with the lactonic, milky, kind of creamy scent does it for me every time. So, love that one. In a very close second, like very, very, very close, I would put Summer Amor. This one's the strongest of the three. So from the lightest to the strongest, very, again, creamy, because of the almond and like creamy kind of almond milkiness of it. But it has a lot more stronger of florals. It has the orange blossom and a lot stronger of a wood. So it's kind of like another version of this, but a lot stronger. And it has a really deep like, gourmandness to it that I feel like is very quintessentially Sol de Janeiro. So it's the least unique of what I'd be expecting. It's kind of like classically what they bring out, which, you know, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And it's amazing. I really do like it, and it would be a really close second. And then in last place, but still, certainly it's not least, this one for me is just so reminiscent of pretty much being a dupe of a scent I already have and wear a lot, that if I were to get this one first, I probably wouldn't have gotten the Ariana Grande one. But now that I have both, I think I'm just going to reach for it less. It's nice, and I definitely have grown into liking Pear a lot more as a note over time. But if I had to skip one, I would probably skip that one. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. There are plenty more videos I can do on fragrances I've hauled. Let me know if you are interested in fragrance oils, because I used to really not be into them, but they have taken over my life in recent weeks or months, I would say, and I have like a good little collection that I'd love to share and kind of share how I wear them and when I like to wear them compared to my scents and my spray scents, I would say. And then in terms of beauty, there are a lot of things I've actually gotten into in terms of specifically Physicians Formula videos that I could do, or, you know, wedding makeup things I'm interested in, or just collecting in kind of like the beauty skincare world as well. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. Hair stuff, whatever it might be. I feel like I'm on a full beauty journey in every category. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm really, really happy to be back. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.